and welcome back to On the Track. I've actually got a special treat for all of you today, which is an American locomotive. It's an American locomotive which has recently been done, and it used to and still does, I believe, work for the Union Pacific, which is actually known as Big Boy. Now, here she is in the flesh, if I actually get her all in camera view. She is the biggest and largest steam locomotive that I actually know of. If anyone actually knows anyone that is bigger and larger than this locomotive, then please do let me know, because I have no idea if there is one that is bigger. This certain locomotive though is number 4014, which has recently been uphauled roughly about in 2017 to 2018, I believe it was. And instead of a coal tender, which you can see just there, she has actually now got a new tender which has oil instead of coal. Now, she does still puff smoke, I believe, in the real version, but obviously this one is I believe it's the 45th or the 65th anniversary, so it's a special edition one, which makes it all the more special to me, and it's my prized possession, if you like, even more so I think than the Great Gathering. It's very hard between the two, which I prefer, or which I do want to actually say is my favourite. So let's get right into it. So what we have here on Big Boy is a lot of a lot of detail. We have so much I can't even go through it all. I'm just going to show the basic. So what we've got for everyone, as you can see, you've got the main light at the front. As anyone knows, obviously, that's because out in America you're unable to see what is normally a head, because they don't, unlike in the UK, as we have every so often, say like different signals and what have you, they are out in pitch black for so long. I'm not fully aware of whereabouts, like how long distance wise it would be, but I know for a fact that they do need one heck of a lamp on the front, because they need to see where they are going. It does have a lovely Union Pacific number plate on the front here, if you like, if you want to call it that. And the amount of detail they put into it, these are all metal, all different parts, which are absolutely brilliant. Even right down to the bell, which I'm not going to tap too hard because that is very fragile. Sadly for me, if I zoom in just a little bit more, there we go, that's brilliant. The numbers on the top, they normally do for American models, they do light up. However, this being an English one, they don't light up, sadly, but that doesn't bother me too much. You can't expect everything. So, but in real life, I also want to mention, while we're looking at the smoke box, she does actually have chalked on the front the name Big Boy, which obviously people didn't actually know what they were going to name it at first when it was first built. So someone put the name on at the front. I think it was more of a bit of either just what they thought it should be called, or as a laugh, and the name kind of just stuck, which was brilliant because I think the name suits her very much. Now, going to her wheel type, we have a lot of wheels. Sorry that it's a little bit dark, the way that the light is right in the centre of the room, and obviously I'm on this side, it makes it a little bit harder, but her wheel type is a 4, 8, 8, and then another 4, and that's before we get onto the tender. So the reason why she has like the two 8 wheels there, if you like, was because the amount of haulage that she used to do and still does. She can do over 1 mile of pulling cars all on her own, which is absolutely brilliant. I think it's absolutely stunning what she needed to be able to do and still does, and I think that it would be a lifelong dream to be able to actually even be in the cab of a big boy at one day, well, one stage. It would be amazing. Going on to the tender, it is still very nice, along with the main loco itself, Union Pacific, which is what she runs under. You've got the coal on top, which sadly, unlike the other one I showed before, this one can't actually be replaced. Just all of it. Nope, can't be replaced. That's completely very firm in there. So that's a little bit of a disappointment, but it doesn't bother me. It's limited edition. So, and for once, I do have some people in there. I'm not sure if you can actually see them in there. I will have to turn on the cab light. And yes, I do have the cab light. Let's put that cab light on for you lot. There you go. So the amount of light that you can see due to the windows, there you go, you can see the little people in there. You've got 2 people in there. Sadly, on this one it doesn't actually do anything. But on American models, this part is so air can flow into for the crew, but my one doesn't actually move, so that's a little bit of a disappointment. But that doesn't bother me too much. So we're going to get this big boy, if you like, to actually pull all of these freight over here. So let's get her going, and yes, she does have sound. Just get her started up. Just a couple of my favourite sounds, which is one of them is the bell. The main whistle. And then we've got what is the radio com, from what I believe. So, let's take her around. I will try and do it as quickly as possible, because I know a lot of you will probably look at this and think that it will take a long while, so I'll try and get her going as quickly as possible. The reason why she became an oil type, sorry, let me zoom in for you a little bit there. She became an oil type instead of coal, which is actually due to when she was going along for big amounts of freight, etc. All the smoke rather that kept coming out was actually setting many bushes on fire. So it would end up setting loads of places on fire, which was a problem. So this is actually probably one of their good ideas, like one of their better ideas, if you like, on making it an oil instead of smoke. Instead of coal rather. But I do think that coal suits it better. But of course, that's my general opinion on it. So let's speed her up slightly. She does have a light on the back, which is very nice and also very bright. So let's change her direction, which will change the lights. Sorry for my shaking, I'll just set the camera down, I think. Just about. There you go. Sorry about that. I know shaking cameras aren't very great. I think that she is actually one of the better locomotives that I have got. I do have one other locomotive which is American, but sadly she is under repair, so I'm unable to show her. But other than that, I think that Big Boy is my favourite locomotive so far, not just because she's the newest locomotive to my collection, but because of her sheer size, her power, and also I think that she is just amazing to me. Anyone who is after one, I would definitely recommend it. I would say that there is a hefty price if you are wanting one. So especially with sound and the little details I've got. So I've got firebox flicker in there and everything else. So it does look even better at night if I just quickly turn the light off. So let's just turn that down. So there's literally no light there. So there's the front of the loco, and then changing her direction, you've got the backlight there, and you can see the flickering at the firebox there. I believe it's so. Oh no, the firebox is not even on. There you go. And let's turn that light back up. So, thank you very much for watching. I hope you do keep continuing to watch these little videos I make. I know they are rather long, but it's too much information for me to cut down, sadly. I wish I could, but I'm just a brand new YouTuber at the moment, so hopefully I'll get better at this sort of stuff. If you've got any advice, please leave it down in the comments, that would be really appreciated. And I hope that you've enjoyed it as much as I have. And also, well, farewell from me, and farewell from Big Boy.